Welcome back to NBC Update channel. Today, we will learn about the electrifying events unfolding in Salem this week as Days of Our Lives prepares to deliver two unforgettable special episodes on Wednesday and Thursday, November 19th and 20th. Brace yourselves for a whirlwind of dramatic confrontations, mysterious warnings, shocking attacks, relationship turmoil, and dangerous schemes that will leave viewers breathless and desperate for more. E.J. Dimra's dangerous communications and Susan Banks' dire warning. The drama ignites when District Attorney E.J. Dimra makes a critical mistake by reaching out to his son Johnny Dimra, a conversation that could have devastating legal and personal consequences. This ill-advised communication comes at a precarious time when E.J. is already under intense scrutiny from multiple parties investigating his suspicious activities. Adding to the mounting tension, E.J.'s eccentric mother Susan Banks arrives at the Dimra mansion with an urgent and bone-chilling message for her son. The psychic matriarch, who claims she can now communicate with the dead, senses an ominous presence lurking within the walls of the family estate. Susan firmly believes that the malevolent spirit of Stefano Dimra, the family's notorious patriarch, has not crossed over to the afterlife and continues to exert a sinister influence over the household. Susan's warnings carry particular weight given her history of supernatural insights, and she specifically references the dangerous dark forces that seem to be swirling around Johnny's recent murder trial. The question looms large whether Stefano's essence is truly haunting the mansion, or if Susan is detecting something far more tangible and terrifying. Some speculate the evil presence could be manifesting through young Rachel Black, Stefano's granddaughter, whose increasingly disturbing behavior has alarmed everyone in Salem. E.J.'s sinister scientific experiments with Dr. Rolf. Deepening the mystery surrounding E.J.'s activities, troubling evidence suggests that the district attorney has been secretly collaborating with the infamous Dr. Wilhelm Rolf on clandestine experiments involving psychological manipulation and possibly even mind control. This shocking revelation adds a chilling dimension to Susan's warnings about darkness consuming her son Elvis Jr. E.J. has established tight control over a mysterious new medical facility, disguised as the Dr. Tom Horton Free Clinic, but sources indicate this charitable facade conceals a hidden laboratory where Dr. Rolf conducts his ethically questionable research. Kat Green stumbled upon architectural plans for this secret wing while investigating E.J., raising serious questions about what experiments might be taking place behind closed doors. The connection between E.J.'s scientific ambitions and the strange occurrences plaguing Salem grows more disturbing by the day, particularly as Tony Dimra's bizarre behavior has family members questioning whether he's truly himself or if something far more sinister has taken hold. Kat Green fights off a violent attack. The danger escalates dramatically when someone attempts to rob Kat Green in a brazen daylight attack. However, the would-be assailant severely underestimated their target, as Kat proves she possesses Wonder Woman-level combat skills and fights back with impressive ferocity. The bold ISA agent successfully fends off her attacker, demonstrating that she's far more than just a pretty face with a complicated romantic history. Speculation immediately turns to Liam, the young criminal who recently skipped out on court-mandated counseling sessions with Abe Carver that were part of his criminal sentence. Did this troubled youth decide to target Kat for quick cash, or could there be a more sinister conspiracy at play? Given Kat's covert investigation into E.J. Dimra's shadowy operations, some wonder if the assault was actually an assassination attempt orchestrated by someone who wants to silence her before she uncovers too much. The attack raises urgent questions about Kat's safety as she continues digging into the district attorney's secrets alongside her ISA partner Rafa Hernandez. The stakes have never been higher, and Kat may need protection from either Chad Dimra, who still harbors feelings for her despite their breakup, or E.J. himself if he decides to play the hero to deflect suspicion from his own involvement. Johnny and Chanel struggle with new parenthood. On a more tender note, the special Wednesday episode brings Johnny Dimra and his wife Chanel to significant challenges as they navigate the overwhelming reality of becoming first-time parents to baby Trey, whom they recently adopted. The young couple faces considerable difficulties adjusting to their expanded family, experiencing the sleepless nights, constant feedings, and emotional roller coaster that all new parents endure. This monumental life change comes after a heartbreaking 2-year journey that included a devastating miscarriage and the crushing medical news that Chanel's chances of carrying a pregnancy to term were extremely slim. The couple explored adoption as their path to building a family, and after the emotional disappointment of their failed attempt to adopt Sophia Choi and Tate Black's baby. They were overjoyed when Belle Brady informed them they had been chosen as baby Tesoro's adoptive parents. The adoption finalization brought beautiful closure to their struggle, but now the reality of round-the-clock childcare tests their relationship and individual resilience. Wednesday's episode captures their exhaustion, fears about being adequate parents, and the precious moments of wonder as they bond with their son. This transition from a couple dealing with infertility to a family unit will shape their characters' development for years to come and may force Johnny to reconsider his film directing ambitions while Chanel adjusts her professional goals. Jeremy Horton offers Chad critical advice about Jennifer's custody threat. Later in the week, Jeremy Horton provides Chad DiMera with much-needed counsel regarding his increasingly volatile situation with Jennifer Horton. Jeremy likely advises Chad to remain calm and measured despite Jennifer's unfair accusations and her shocking decision to pursue legal custody of Thomas and Charlotte. Jennifer has hired an attorney and served Chad with official custody papers, threatening to take his children to Boston permanently because she believes Thomas and Charlotte are unsafe in their father's care. Her extreme reaction stems from witnessing Thomas nearly get struck by a car in Horton Town Square after he became distraught seeing Chad embrace Kat Green. Jennifer has convinced herself that Chad's romantic interest in Catwoman, who cruelly impersonated his deceased wife Abigail, demonstrates catastrophically poor judgment that endangers his children. Jeremy's perspective may prove invaluable. He encourages Chad to avoid letting Thomas dictate his romantic choices or sending the message that the boy controls his father's life. Jeremy might also remind Chad that allowing Jennifer to win would separate Thomas and Charlotte from their father and shatter the family unit. Despite EJ's pessimistic legal assessment that Jennifer might prevail in court, Jeremy could suggest that Chad fight back by exposing Jennifer's own problematic history, including her past as a shoplifter and her well-documented struggles with prescription drug addiction. The question remains whether Chad will decide to accept a short-term loss to achieve a long-term victory, or if he'll mount an aggressive legal defense. Kat Green and Rafa Hernandez intensify their investigation. Meanwhile, Kat Green and Rafa Hernandez encounter significant obstacles in their undercover ISA investigation targeting EJ DiMera. The pair has been working tirelessly to uncover evidence of the district attorney's illegal activities. But EJ's careful maneuvering and powerful position make gathering concrete proof extremely challenging. Kat shares her mounting concerns with Rafa about both the personal toll of her recent breakup with Chad and the professional dangers of their increasingly risky operation. As they dig deeper into EJ's connection to the suspicious medical facility and Dr. Rolf's experiments, Kat wonders whether they need to become bolder and take more aggressive risks to finally expose the truth. The investigation has already revealed disturbing information about the secret laboratory wing, unexplained disappearances, and possible scientific abuses occurring under EJ's supervision. However, without smoking gun evidence, the ISA agents struggle to build a case strong enough to bring down one of Salem's most powerful and well-connected residents. Rafa updates Jada Hunter on the next critical phase of their strategy, suggesting a major breakthrough may be imminent. But with Kat having just survived a violent attack and EJ growing increasingly paranoid about potential leaks, the investigators must balance their desire for justice against the very real possibility that their target will discover their identities and retaliate with lethal force. Justin Kiriakis delivers a stark warning to Jennifer. Attorney Justin Kiriakis takes Jennifer Horton aside to deliver a brutally honest assessment of her custody case against Chad DiMera. Justin likely informs her that despite her righteous indignation and genuine concern for her grandchildren, she faces an uphill legal battle that she will almost certainly lose if the matter proceeds to court. Justin may point out that Chad has been an exemplary father who has never intentionally harmed his children and has chosen to raise them in the beloved Horton family home rather than the DiMera mansion. The attorney probably reminds Jennifer that pursuing this lawsuit will tear the family apart and traumatically separate Thomas and Charlotte from their devoted father, who has already suffered the devastating loss of their mother Abigail. However, Jennifer remains convinced that Thomas desperately wants to leave and that her grandson's emotional well-being depends on removing him from Chad's custody. She may argue that any judge will see that Chad's romantic involvement with the woman who perpetrated a cruel impersonation of his dead wife demonstrates catastrophically poor judgment. Justin's warning sets the stage for an explosive confrontation when Jennifer officially presents Chad with the custody papers that Justin has reluctantly drawn up. This devastating moment will force Chad to decide whether to fight back aggressively or agree to a temporary separation in hopes of eventually repairing his relationship with Jennifer and reclaiming his children. Shawn Douglas Brady returns to support Belle during Marlena's health crisis. In a touching development, Shawn Douglas Brady makes a welcome return to Salem to stand by his ex-wife Belle Black as she faces the terrifying possibility of losing her mother Marlene Evans to a mysterious and rapidly worsening illness. Despite their recent divorce, which became final in December 2024, Shawn puts aside the pain of their failed marriage to provide emotional support during Belle's darkest hour. Belle has been absolutely devastated watching her legendary mother's health deteriorate, while doctors struggle to diagnose the cause of her alarming symptoms, which include frequent collapses, disturbing nightmares, loss of appetite, and extreme fatigue. The family's collective grief over John Black's tragic death from pancreatic cancer has only intensified Belle's terror that she might lose both parents within months of each other. Shawn's compassionate presence offers Belle the comfort and strength she desperately needs during this crisis, and their shared mourning could potentially reignite the connection they once shared. The timing proves significant as Belle's current romance with EJ DiMera appears increasingly unstable, particularly as more people learn about EJ's questionable ethics and hidden agendas. Some speculate that John's death and Marlena's medical emergency might serve as the catalyst that brings the legendary legacy couple back together, healing the wounds that drove them apart and reminding them why they were considered one of Salem's greatest love stories. Rachel Black's sinister plot against Sarah. The darkness intensifies as young Rachel Black executes a truly diabolical scheme targeting Sarah Horton Kyriakis. The troubled child, who has displayed increasingly sociopathic tendencies, decides to punish Sarah for having the audacity to develop romantic feelings for Rachel's father Brady Black. In a calculated act of malice, Rachel deliberately poisons Sarah with pistachios, fully aware that the woman suffers from a severe and potentially fatal nut allergy. The attack occurs at Brady's pub, where Sarah suddenly begins experiencing a life-threatening allergic reaction, struggling to breathe as her throat closes. Brady, horrified and panicked, immediately demands to know what his daughter has done, as Rachel looks on with a disturbing expression that suggests she understands the gravity of her actions. This represents merely the latest in a long series of alarming incidents involving Rachel, who has previously shot her step-grandfather EJ DiMera, bullied classmates so severely that no children would attend her birthday party, and consistently tormented adults who displease her. Many Salem residents have questioned why this child has not received intensive psychiatric intervention despite clearly exhibiting dangerous behavioral patterns. Susan Banks' theory that Rachel might be possessed by or channeling the evil spirit of her great-grandfather Stefano DiMera suddenly seems far less outlandish given the girl's escalating violence. The question now becomes whether Sarah will survive this attack and whether Brady will finally acknowledge that his daughter requires immediate and comprehensive mental health treatment before she seriously injures or kills someone. Xander thanks Brady and signs the divorce papers. In an unexpected twist that demonstrates remarkable personal growth, Xander Kyriakis approaches Brady Black to express genuine gratitude. This surprising development suggests that Xander's anger management therapy may finally be producing results and that he's regaining control over the volatile temper that has caused so much damage to his relationships. The source of Xander's appreciation likely relates to Brady's instrumental role in convincing Kristen DiMera to provide the experimental serum that enabled Sarah to recover from her paralysis. While Xander's own schemes and threats proved counterproductive, Brady successfully appealed to Kristen's better nature and secured the treatment that allowed Sarah to walk again. However, this moment of grace occurs against the backdrop of Xander's crumbling marriage. Despite his relief and joy over Sarah's medical recovery, she remains deeply hurt and angry about the extreme lengths Xander was willing to go to obtain the serum, including his readiness to sacrifice Philip's position at Titan Industries. Sarah's disillusionment with her husband's methods has proven insurmountable, and she has served him with divorce papers. In Thursday's episode, Xander tells Sarah that he has signed the divorce documents, seemingly accepting that their marriage has reached its conclusion. Yet Sarah's expression suggests conflicted emotions, and viewers know that despite everything, these two remain deeply in love. The question lingering over this heartbreaking scene is whether Sarah has actually filed the papers with the court, making the divorce official, or if there's still hope for reconciliation before it's truly too late. The tension escalates further when Brady informs Xander about his growing romantic interest in Sarah triggering Xander's legendary temper. When Brady comments about Xander's supposed anger management progress, the wounded husband snaps, declaring that his control vanishes when someone tells him they're pursuing his wife. This explosive confrontation raises concerns about whether Xander can truly maintain his composure or if his old patterns of destructive behavior will resurface and destroy any remaining chance of winning Sarah back. The week ahead: danger, deception, and desperate choices. These two special episodes promise to deliver some of the most intense and emotionally charged moments of the season, with nearly every major character facing impossible decisions and devastating consequences. From Susan's supernatural warnings about Stefano's lingering presence to Rachel's sociopathic attack on Sarah. From Johnny and Chanel's parenting struggles to the custody battle threatening to destroy Chad's family, Salem residents find themselves navigating treacherous waters with no safe harbor in sight. The investigation into EJ's criminal activities continues heating up even as Kat fights for her life against unknown assailants. Belle and Shawn's reunion amid family tragedy could rewrite their romantic destiny. And the question of whether Xander and Sarah can overcome their differences before legally ending their marriage keeps viewers on the edge of their seats. Don't miss a single moment of these spectacular episodes as Days of Our Lives continues delivering the shocking twists, emotional depth, and compelling storytelling that have made it a daytime television institution for 6 decades. Wednesday and Thursday, November 19th and 20th, will undoubtedly leave fans talking for weeks to come as Salem's most beloved and most troubled residents face their greatest challenges yet.